Our gathering song is Welcome In by Serena Partridge.
Welcome in, wild hearts. Welcome in, wild hearts. Welcome in, wild hearts. We will sing our way to wholeness. That's your part. Please rise in body or in spirit. Join in singing this song with me. I believe you will not find the lyrics anywhere in print because they're very simple, and I'm going to teach them to you. Welcome in, wild hearts. It's a zipper song. One word changes each time. You learn it once, you've learned the whole song. Welcome in, wild hearts. We will sing our way to wholeness. Give it a try. Welcome in, wild hearts. Welcome in. You're good. Wild hearts. Welcome in, wild hearts. We will sing our way to wholeness. We will sing our way to wholeness. And I forgot that the easiest and best way to sing this song is as call and response, so it gets even simpler. I will sing a line to you, you sing it back. Let's try it again. I'll sing welcome in, you sing welcome in. Welcome in, wild hearts, wild hearts. Welcome in, wild hearts, wild hearts. Welcome in, wild hearts, wild hearts. Now I sing the whole line and then you sing it back. We will sing our way to wholeness. We will sing our way to wholeness. There's some wonderful harmonies to be found in this song. I love what Pete Seeger used to say about harmony. He said, don't be afraid of harmony. Harmony is any note that your neighbor isn't singing. So the world is all available to you. So, second verse, welcome in, tender hearts. Welcome in, tender hearts, tender hearts. Welcome in, tender hearts, tender hearts. Welcome in, tender hearts, tender hearts. We will sing our way to wholeness. We will sing our way to wholeness. Grieving hearts. Welcome in, grieving hearts, grieving hearts. Welcome in, grieving hearts, grieving hearts. Welcome in, grieving hearts, grieving hearts. We will sing our way to wholeness. Sing our way to wholeness. longing hearts. Welcome in, longing hearts, welcome in, longing hearts, welcome in, longing hearts, we will sing our way to wholeness, we will sing our way to wholeness. Courageous hearts. Welcome in, courageous hearts, welcome in, courageous hearts, welcome in, courageous hearts, we will sing our way to wholeness, sing our way to wholeness. One last time. We will sing our way to wholeness. Beautiful singing. Have a seat.
We acknowledge that we gather today on the ancestral lands of the Abenaki people, who were removed unjustly, and that we in this community are the beneficiaries of that removal. We honor them as we live, work, study, and worship here at CVUUS. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to CVUUS, Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. Welcome to those of you who are here today on this first Sunday of April, and welcome to those of you who are joining by Zoom. Here at CVUUS, we strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community that sustains a liberal religious tradition. We aspire to be visible and active on behalf of social justice and environmental responsibility. We nurture and empower each other at all ages on our spiritual journeys, and we reach out to the larger communities of which we are a part. April is a good month, well up into the top half of the months of the year, following a dreadful month, March, but preceding the best month, May. Yesterday, a wonderful thing happened to me on my Saturday morning walk with my neighbor. About halfway down the road, I spied a daffodil, the first one of the year for me. So yellow and bright, solitary and brave. And it was so gloomy and March-like yesterday. It was surrounded by clusters of narrow green shoots, its buddies, not as brave, but about to blossom themselves. I was reminded by poems that my mother used to read when I was young, by A.A. Milne, of Winnie the Pooh creator. And he had a poem called Daffodilly. She turned to the sunlight and shook her yellow head and whispered to her neighbor, "Winter is dead." Daffodils now and pussy willows, tulips right behind, and then those few days in a week or so when everything becomes green, April. May our efforts be inspired by the blossoming of the landscape. I'm Karl Lindholm, a member of the worship team, and I'm assisting this morning our guest, Reverend Fred Small, a Unitarian Universalist pastor, singer-songwriter, and former environmental lawyer. He serves as Minister for Climate and Justice at the Arlington Street Church. During this morning's worship, we'll be singing Everything's Possible, Fred's classic lullaby of unconditional love and inclusion. A picture book of Fred's song will be available for sale after the service. It's a wonderful gift for the children and former children in your life, and Fred will be glad to inscribe your copy. We're fortunate to have you here today, Fred. You're welcome. Now, let us worship together. Gwen, will you help me light the chalice? Didn't Gwen do a nice job with the bell? Now, please read along with the words in your order of service or on the screen following Gwen's lighting of the chapel. Chalice lighting by Adrienne Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot share. So much has been destroyed. I cast my lot with those who in age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world.
Light within all light. Soul behind all souls. At the break of dawn, at the coming of day, we wait and watch. Your light within the morning light, your soul within the human soul, your presence beckoning to us from the heart of life. In the dawning of this day, let us know fresh shinings in our soul. In the growing colors of new beginning all around us, let us know the first lights of our heart. Great star of the morning, inner flame of the universe, let us be a color in this new dawning. Bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, day's a breaking in my soul. Please rise in body or in spirit. Sing this song with me. It began, as some of you know, as a beautiful, kind of sleepy Appalachian hymn, Bright morning stars arising. Court Dorsey took it to the Seabrook nuclear power demonstrations back in the day and kicked it up a notch, and I added some new verses because I'm a folk singer and that's what we do. Bright morning star arising. Give it a try. Bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, day's a breaking in my soul. For justice and compassion. For justice and compassion. For justice and compassion. For justice and compassion. Days a breaking in my soul. I hear some harmonies breaking in. That's fantastic. Let's see. For peace in every nation. For peace in every nation, for peace in every nation, for peace in every nation. Days a breaking in my soul for the healing of creation, for the healing of creation, for the healing of creation, for the healing of creation. Days a breaking in my soul for the future of our children, For the future of our children, for the future of our children, for the future of our children. Days are breaking in my soul. Last time, bright morning star. Bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising. Days are breaking in my soul. Beautiful. Thank you. Sometimes the story for all ages is, or the time for all ages, pardon me. Every congregation calls it something different. The time for all ages is a story. Sometimes it's a conversation. And sometimes it's a song. We have cleared off the table the leftovers saved. Wash the dishes and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. I invite you to sing the chorus with me. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. That's a lot more words than Bright Morning Star, but I'll cue you when they come around. You can be anybody. Give it a try. And maybe you can read them up there, but they're kind of small, so no pun intended. You can be anybody you want. You can love. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country. You can travel any country where your heart, and know I will love, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can live by, you can gather friends. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. Some children grow up strong and bold, while some are quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some take it slow, some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some leave every label behind. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible you'll find. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country. You can travel anywhere your heart, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can live by, you can gather friends, or you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. The love you leave behind when you're done. Thank you for singing with me, and it's time to sing the children out of the sanctuary for their morning program.
If you have a milestone or passage, a joy or concern you would like to share with the congregation, please fill out a yellow card and drop it in the offering basket. Also, we have pink cards if you would like the help of the Caring Network, blue sheets if you are visiting, so we can be in touch. These are available in a little stand right outside the door. And do join us for coffee hour in the Ann Ross Fellowship Hall after the service. You might note that I usually say that at the beginning, and I forgot today. Pathways to connection. There are many ways and occasions for us to gather, to deepen our faith, to get to know one another better, or just to have fun. On our order of service, on the reverse, we print those. The most immediate pathways, so do take a look at that. And there's a special occasion today. Fred is doing a workshop, you can see that on the back, called Give Light, Spiritual Support for Climate Engagement, led by Fred, following worship today, 12:30 to 2:30 in the sanctuary. And I've asked Fred if he would talk a little bit more about that.
Thanks, Karl. The workshop is titled Give Light, Spiritual Support for Climate Engagement. Making change, activism is hard work. And it's important to take care of ourselves and to stay in touch with the spark of motivation, of resolve, to continue that work. There are many workshops on what to do. This is a workshop on how we can be as we do it, and how to sustain this work. So if you are a climate activist, if you've ever thought about being active in response to the climate crisis, if you've ever thought about doing anything to make the world a little better, whether or not you define yourself as an activist, this might be a good time. 2 hours, 12:30 to 2:30, and it will, I hope, be a place of renewal and resolve. Thanks. Oh, it will be very participatory. Participation is not required. We are Unitarian Universalists, but it's certainly invited. But I just want to say that I am not a subscriber to the sage on the stage model of workshops.
CVUUS exists in this form on Sunday mornings in marvelous ways. It also exists, is it not, I don't have it? There we go. CVUUS exists in wonderful ways here on Sunday morning. I don't want to pop my peas, you know, that's the, okay. Maybe I should stand. There. Is that better? Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about CVUUS not on Sunday mornings. I am Brett Millier. I'm currently the vice president of the congregation and a huge fan of small group ministry at CVUUS, which is one of the many things that happens not on Sunday morning. Long ago, when we were brand new to this congregation and had met only a few people, then as now, I am pretty much terrified of coffee hour. Kindly, Doug Richards invited me to join his small group ministry. Despite having school-age children and a full-time job, I said, yes, that's what I need. That will serve my heart. And through structured and gently guided conversation, I came to know Doug and 6 other members of the congregation in a way that's just not possible on Sunday mornings. After a few sessions, I began to feel at home in that group and at home in this congregation. After a couple of years, that group disbanded. Small groups come and go over time. And it was more than a decade before I sought out another group and found, to my great delight, a group run by Dinah Smith, which was then meeting at the home of Faith Lowell in Middlebury. Using wonderful, wonderful materials prepared for us by then Doug and now the small group ministry leadership team, we kept each other alive and sane during the first Trump presidency through spirited conversation and mutual support. When in 2019 I had to miss several meetings in a row to be with my mom in the last few weeks of her life, I will never forget their kindness when I returned. They sat with me and they hugged me and they held my hands as I grieved and processed everything that I had seen and come to know in my long vigil, in my mother's death, and in my emptying out of her apartment and closing out her life. I knew that they understood, and I knew that they knew that that's what I needed to do, and I will never forget it. Small group ministries are different one from another, very different one from another, and of course you can always form a new group if you are so inclined. Some small groups meet long-term, as the one I'm in now does, some for a set number of meetings, and then they disband and reform in other ways. Even the longer-term groups add and subtract members along the way, so these things are not fixed. Generally, meetings happen once a month, and every month we are provided with those wonderful guiding materials that help us shape our conversations around ideas from Unitarian Universalism, Unitarian Universalism and from the world at large. If you want to deepen your connections with CVUS and explore interesting ideas with really interesting people, small group ministry might be for you. If you're interested, see Dinah Smith, who is here today, and Reverend Christina, who supervises the small group ministries in this congregation right now. Thank you.
Now is the time to receive the offering. Each month we share our plate. You doing it?
Yes,
You're doing it.
I am doing it.
Nobody told me.
It was sort of a last minute change.
But you're representing the.
Yes.
Okay. You want to tell me? Let me tell you what it is.
Yes.
Now is the time to receive the offering. Each month we share our plate with an entity that is doing good in the community or the larger world. This month, our donee is the Climate Economy Action Center of Addison County. Founded in 2019, the mission of CEAC is to reduce greenhouse gases emissions in Addison County in a timely and equitable manner while promoting and supporting a just transition. Soon, we will have someone to describe CEAC more fully. In fact, it's going to happen today. And it's going to be Jean Terwilliger. Thank you.
Thank you. I hear I was supposed to be on tap for next week, but I didn't know that, and I'm away next week. So I was ready for today. And as chair of the donations team, it's always meaningful to introduce an organization that I'm personally involved in. And it's also exciting that Fred Small is here to help ground us in how we think about this work and take care of ourselves and each other at the beginning of Earth Month. So you introduced the SEAC, but what we're working on now is its Energy Navigator program, which exists to connect people in Addison County and beyond now, because we keep hearing from people, with the resources that are available to make household level changes to be more comfortable, save money, and reduce carbon footprints. And there's growing demand for this work, but uncertain financial resources. Do you know your personal carbon footprint? Do you know what resources are available to help you reduce your climate impact? In this time of uncertainty and upheaval, taking personal action, connecting locally with people in your community can both build community and have a real impact. I hope you will join me in supporting SEAC's work this month and also join the third Sunday climate conversation on April 20th. Thank you.
Now the offering will be received. I have 3 yellow cards. The first is from Jake Loven. Looking for good thoughts to be sent to my friends and one of my friend's family. Earlier this week, my good friend was in the hospital with pneumonia and unfortunately didn't make it. He was taken off life support on Thursday. He was a great friend and I will miss him. Please keep us in your thoughts. Thank you. We certainly will, Jake. On a perhaps a happier note, I hope a happier note, certainly a time of excitement. I feel a bit better today after spending time with like-minded neighbors at the Hands Off protest in Brandon. Thank you all. Thank to all the members of this congregation for helping lift my spirits in this frightening, anxiety-ridden time. Hoping for more uplifting activism. Thank you, Allison. Carol Kulchek. I'm grateful to all of the people who participated in yesterday's protests around the world to stand up for decency. It's underlined. So I underline decency. Together we can make a difference. Undoubtedly, there are joys and concerns in your hearts and minds that remain unspoken. And we'll have a reading by Neely, and then a meditation by Fred.
Hello, everyone. I'm Neely Jennings. I'm going to read a poem by Joy Harjo. She's a member of the Muscogee Creek Nation, and she served as the 23rd U.S. Poet Laureate. So here goes. Once I traveled far above the earth, this beloved planet we call home was covered with an elastic web of light. I watched in awe as it shimmered, stretched, dimmed, and shined, shaped by the collective effort of all life within it. Dissonance attracted more dissonance. Harmony attracted harmony. I saw revolutions, droughts, famines, and the births of new nations. The most humble kindnesses made the brightest lights. Nothing was wasted.
I invite you to join in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, Holy One, essence and breath of all that is. Take my fear and let it become wonder. Take my grief and let it become compassion. Take my doubt and let it become courage. Take my self-centeredness and let it become love. Take my broken heart and let it become my strength. Amen. And blessed be. In silence, we descend deeper than words, centering down to the ground of being. During the silence, I invite you to pray or to meditate or to contemplate ultimate things. Thank you for singing along so beautifully. There's something unique and irreplaceable, it seems to me, about singing together in person. I'm so delighted that folks can join on Zoom, and there's nothing like being together. There's an energetic quality to being together that I hope we never lose. I also wanted to give special thanks to LIam and Dorothy on various forms of tech this morning. We had some last-minute adjustments on the slides, and they rallied and were troopers. So thank you so much for your rapid adjustment. I knew a man once who tried to save a tree. It was a magnificent red oak planted in the 19th century through numberless winters and springs and summers and autumns. Its roots had penetrated deep into the soil, and its trunk had grown tall and strong. Generations of families and friends and lovers had gathered gratefully in the shade of its broad canopy. And the man loved the tree and held it sacred. But the tree grew close to a building, and one day the owners of the building decreed that the building would be improved and expanded. The tree would have to be cut down. And so the man who loved the tree wrote letters and social media posts to try and change their minds. He organized others and enrolled political leaders in his cause. Save the tree, they cried. The owners were unmoved. It's true, they said, the tree is old and beautiful, but it's actually not in very good health. It's going to die soon anyway. Besides, they said, we have no choice. We've examined every alternative, and none is practical within our budget. The tree must go. Outraged, the man assailed their motives and their integrity. His letters and posts grew more acerbic and sarcastic. At last, his belligerence and ill temper drove away even people who also cared about the tree and might have helped save it. And so the tree was cut down. And all who saw its severed limbs couldn't help noticing how healthy they looked. And the man cursed the owners for their stupidity and short-sightedness. This good man who loved trees so profoundly and so passionately had not learned from them. His feverish, frenetic activism was nothing at all like a tree. He championed the sacredness of trees while neglecting the sacredness of human beings, including his own. He knew the worth of trees, but not the peace of trees. Don't we all make the same mistake, at least some of the time? More than half a century ago, the Trappist monk and peace activist Thomas Merton warned, there is a pervasive form of contemporary violence to which the idealist most easily succumbs: activism and overwork. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything, is to succumb to violence. The frenzy of our activism, Merton said, neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys the fruitfulness of our own work because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes work fruitful. The frenzy of our activism destroys our inner capacity for peace and the fruitfulness of our work. Actually, Thomas Merton was lucky. He died before Twitter. Twitter, now technically X. Twitter, that twilight zone of snark, contempt, occasional inspiration, and permanent outrage where I, for one, have wasted far too much of my time. It's easy to be punitive and make others disposable. Caution Tom DeWolf and Jody Geddes in the little book of racial healing. The difficult task, they write, is in telling the truth in ways that seek healing and transformation. We are beset today by a host of daunting challenges, all of them urgent and interconnected, many seemingly intractable, from patriarchy to white supremacy, from public corruption to secret abuse, from anti-Semitism to Islamophobia to transphobia, from gun violence to armed insurrection to all-out war, from mass incarceration to mass extinction. It is natural for us to feel grief, anger, fear, and despair. I am a climate justice activist. Despair is my constant companion. By now, it's almost an old friend. It seems every new report coming from the scientists is even more alarming than the last. As Lily Tomlin once observed, things are going to get worse before they get worse. Whoever is in the White House, whoever controls Congress in this political system, in this economy, in this culture, the chasm between what climate science demands and what our politics permits is likely to persist for a long time. The realization that it is too late to prevent significant global warming, too late even to prevent vast suffering, has had a surprising effect on me. Instead of making me more anxious and agitated, somehow it has calmed and steadied me. For decades, as a climate activist, I felt like I was in a rowboat above a thundering waterfall, rowing frantically to keep from going over the falls. Well, the boat is going over the falls. We are plummeting, tumbling, crashing into the unknown at vertiginous speed, and yet somehow at the same time, in slow motion, terrible things are happening. Terrible things will happen. Millions will suffer and die, with the worst impacts upon those least responsible for the problem, people of color and people living in poverty all around the world. But it is never too late to save the next life, never too late to save the next community, never too late to save the next species, never too late to feed the hungry or welcome the stranger. I live 1 mile from where Ramesa Ozturk was abducted. Tufts PhD student, Fulbright scholar. Other her or any immigrant at your peril, because without due process, every single one of us can be abducted and taken away. without a warrant, without a hearing, without evidence. A single garment of destiny. It is never too late to welcome the stranger. Never too late to do the next right thing. I vow to do all I can to reduce the suffering, to tend to the wounded, and to build a more just world. But since I believe it is too late to head off climate catastrophe, I am resolved to do these things mindfully, with love and compassion and tenderness and generosity of spirit. Because given the certainty of suffering, the how of what we do is as important as the what, or even the when. As we plunge headlong into the maelstrom, even more important than the question of what am I going to do is the question, who am I going to be? Our climate future is not binary. Everything's going to be wonderful. No, everything's going to be awful. Ecotopia, dystopia. The future will almost certainly have elements of both. And where the balance between them falls will depend upon an infinite number of choices. My choices and your choices and the choices of our children and their children and their children. We don't know what's going to happen. I hope that the human species survives the crisis we have created, but whether or not we do, we know that life on Earth has already survived 5 major extinctions. Life will endure. And intelligent life will continue to evolve with luck and the grace of God, not only smarter, but also wiser, kinder, more compassionate. As we confront this crisis, Potawatomi botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer reminds us we don't have to figure out everything by ourselves. There are intelligences other than our own. Teachers all around us. If we understood that, imagine how less lonely the world would be. So as we struggle to save our trees, what can we learn from them? First of all, hydrate. We can also learn patience. When we're in mortal danger, patience can be hard to cultivate. Trees can help us. Trees take the long view. They have to. Many live hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. Longevity counsels patience. By patience, explains Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron, we don't mean enduring, grin and bear it. In any situation, instead of reacting suddenly, we could chew it, smell it, look at it, and open ourselves to seeing what's there. The journey of patience, Chodron says, involves relaxing, opening to what's happening, experiencing a sense of wonder. To be patient means to slow down. On an exposed cliffside in the Canadian Great Lakes is a white cedar that's taken 160 years to reach the towering height of 4 inches. That's taken it slow. Even when a tree is under threat, it responds slowly. When a caterpillar begins to chew on an oak leaf, it can take an hour before defensive compounds reach the leaf to repel the pest. The hectic pace of humans takes a toll on our activism, our relationships, and our souls. We can be peaceful in our fervor, insists Charles Eisenstein. We can be patient in our urgency. You know, if your religion doesn't embrace paradox, maybe it's time to find a new religion. In a society hyped up on hyper-individualism, trees remind us of the interdependence of all beings. Far from the solitaries they sometimes appear, trees are deeply embedded and active in a community of interconnection, which forest ecologists sometimes playfully call the wood wide web. Whether by interlacing root systems, fungal networks, or release of chemical scents, trees warn each other of harmful insects. They even share nutrients with each other. According to ecologist and Tsimshian native Dr. Teresa Ryan, when a tree in a warming forest dies, it donates its carbon not to its own offspring or even to others of the same species, but to the newest arrivals in the forest, those most likely to survive as temperatures increase. A bequest of generosity akin to altruism. Trees model for us the power of commitment, of choosing to be rooted in one place. When a seed takes root, it makes a lifelong commitment to that very spot. There it must adapt or die. Our human commitments need not be absolute, but they call us to strive and to struggle, to honor our relationships, our communities, and our principles. Commitment demands persistence. Trees persist through high winds, torrential rains, heavy snowstorms that bend their branches, ice storms that break them. If you've ever seen a tree clinging to seemingly naked rock, its root tips stretching to every particle of soil, sucking in the tiniest droplet of moisture, you know what persistence looks like. Trees teach us to live with loss. Every fall, deciduous trees surrender their leaves to the forest floor, enriching the soil not only for themselves, but for all who share their ecosystem. And trees endure the deaths of their companions, from wind, fire, storm, disease, logging, and old age. Trees embody the perfection of imperfection. Admiring an old maple in Connecticut one time, I was struck by its sinuous beauty. Looking more deeply, I realized its beauty lay precisely in its irregularity, its imperfection. Had it been perfectly straight, perfectly uniform, perfectly symmetrical, it would have been grotesque. Only human beings make things that way. God knows better. Maybe I too could accept my imperfections as a mark of beauty. We teach what we most need to learn. When I spend time with trees, I sense their humility, their kindness, their love. I used to think it was anthropomorphic to ascribe human attributes to non-human beings, but I no longer think so. Now, I think it's anthropocentric to think so. We're all sentient beings. We know that plants feel pain and distress. Why shouldn't trees, in their own way, feel love? If you doubt that, I invite you to spend more time with trees, touching their bark, gazing up at their leaves, and just listening. You know, I admit I am not usually a tree hugger. I'm more of a tree patter. Trees have been among my wisest and most reliable teachers. As a child, Howard Thurman, who would grow up to become one of the great preachers of the 20th century and a spiritual advisor to Martin Luther King Jr. As a child, he discovered a unique relationship with an oak tree in his backyard in Daytona Beach, Florida. I could sit my back against its trunk and reach down in the quiet places of my spirit. He remembered. I could take out my bruises and my joys, unfold them and talk about them. I could talk aloud to the oak tree and know that I was understood. It too was part of my reality, like the woods, the night, and the pounding surf, my earliest companions, giving me space. Today we need love more than ever. Climate and racial justice advocate Mary Anais Hagler confesses that love is what keeps her going. I don't mean any simple, sappy kind of love, she declares. I mean living, breathing, heart-beating love, wild love. This love is not a noun. She is an action verb. She can shoot stars into the sky. She can spark a movement. She can sustain a revolution. I love this beautiful, mysterious, complicated planet we get to call home. I love that nighttime symphony on steamy southern nights when the frogs croak and the crickets sing and the phones ring and the owls hunt. I love the delicate feel of honeysuckle petals and the warm, grainy earth and dewy grass on my bare feet. This love is strong enough to break through the terror. She is hot enough to burn through anger and turn into fury. She can shake you out of your despair and propel you to the front of the battlefield. It's a love that can also, even in the teeth of these most insurmountable odds, give me hope. If I'm brave enough to accept it. As for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. But love never ends. I'll let the trees have the last word. With the assistance of their friend and interpreter, the late poet Mary Oliver. Technically, we don't have saints, but if we did, I'm sure Mary Oliver would be right up there. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust. Equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines. They give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me. And daily, I am so distant from the hope of myself in which I have goodness and discernment and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. "It's simple," they say, "and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light." And to shine. Amen. And blessed be. Ain't you got a right? Ain't you got a right? Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? You know the drill. Please rise in body or in spirit. Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Give it a try. Ain't you got a right? Ain't you got a right? Ain't you got a right? Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Ain't you got a right? 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 Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Same tune, different words. So rocky the road, and then we'll come back to ain't you got a right to the tree of life. So rocky the road, so dangerous the journey. So dangerous the journey, but we got a right. But we got a right. Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Ain't you got a right? 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 Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? We come from a distance. We come from a distance. We come from a distance, and we got a right. And we got a right. Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Ain't you got a right? 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 Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Our lives will be sweeter. Our lives will be sweeter. Our lives will be sweeter, 'cause we got a right. Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Ain't you got a right? 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 Ain't you got a right to the tree of life? Now, before the pandemic, I would always invite congregations to join hands on the last chorus and sing it together. Are we post-pandemic? I have no idea. But there are many reasons why you might not want to join hands with the person next to you. We don't have to enumerate all the reasons. Just suffice to say, your body, your choice. If you do not want to hold hands with somebody, please do not do it. If someone rushes up to you, some hand-holding zealot, and says, "Come on," say, "No, thank you," and that's the end of it. Okay. Now, if you feel comfortable joining hands with the person next to you, by all means do so. Heck, some of you slept with each other last night. It's not a big deal. So, we're going to sing the chorus through again, last time, and join hands with a willing partner. Ain't you got it right, 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 to the tree of life. Ain't you got it right, 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 to the tree of life. The words of Stephanie Kaza. Let go of the place that holds. Let go of the place that flinches. Let go of the place that controls. Let go of the place that fears. Listen. The wind is breathing in the trees. Moving through the dark night, I practice courage, accepting the vastness of what I cannot see. Amen, and blessed be.
I'm so glad Fred asked us to hold hands, because I held hands with Rosalie and she said she would have a much better life if she could get a ride home from the workshop this afternoon at the end of the workshop. So you see Rosalie? If you can give her a ride home at 2:30, you'll be in touch with her. And would you repeat the words of extinguishing the challenge, which is up on the screen? As I extinguish the challenge.